pathway to make it happen. But now, what we've witnessed since last year, June, there has been a big paradigm shift that every one of us needs to come into agreement with. Hello, my people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's been a while, especially putting up updates here. But I think at this particular point in time, it's quite exigent for me to put this update for the nurses that are trying to make things work for themselves and are looking at getting registered and migrating or possibly migrating to Australia. In the past few years, it's been through the New Zealand and then pushing up through the TTMR pathway to make it happen. But now, what we've witnessed since last year, June, there has been a big paradigm shift that every one of us needs to come into agreement with, whether we want to believe it or not. It seems New Zealand is actually trying to close her doors to people like us. You understand what I mean? So, but then when one door closes, the other one opens. So I want us to please be at alert and not keep gazing at that door that is closing, so that we can actually easily see the one that is opened or that is opening widely for every one of us. So I know it's quite financially challenging to pass through Australian pathways straight from wherever, and that was actually what made New Zealand won a heart since 2019, 2020. We've been patronizing them. I'm sure they've used their money to maybe raise some multicultural gardens or build some places of tourist attractions to bring in people to have a look at what Nigerian nurses or what African nurses or what international nurses money is are doing for them. But then here they are, or here we are, they are changing the tune. They are beating different tunes from what we've actually known before. And so dancing to the new tune is quite a big, real deal. And this morning, I want to give us update on what someone who went to Australia through the outcome-based assessment pathway from Nigeria. So if they can do it through Nigeria, then you that you're in the United Kingdom can do it. What New Zealand pathway offered us in those days that made them our choicest place was because since we've written, those of us who are already in the UK, I'll be pushing two things together. Sorry if everything doesn't seem to be hanging together. You can just help me to bring them closer, just oppose and astomose them, and then find a good ground to pick the information you actually need. So for people who are in Nigeria, you can do this. For people who are in the United Kingdom or elsewhere, Ireland, anywhere, you can actually do it. You are in India, you are in Ghana, you are in Uganda, Zimbabwe, just name it, anytime, anywhere around the world, you can take this pathway if you have your first degree. And now what you will need to do is to go on their website. I'll put the link for you here, and put on your registration. It's an expensive that way. That was one of the things that made New Zealand brought us to bringing people into their pathways to be registering. Is quite capital intensive, and also there are examinations that New Zealand actually looked away from because people have registered in the UK. They've done OSCE, they've done CBT and all that. But in my mind, I think these guys have come around to shadow maybe UK or shadow Australia. Then they are now bringing it into their system, and it's quite unfair in some ways because first unfairness I've seen, except they want to address it, is that we'll be taking the examination, the computer-based test after the assessment for $140 New Zealand dollars, but there are no centers that people can just enter and write an examination of $140. So if you want to write that exam, you have to apply for visa, book a flight to go and write examinations that is not up to 100,000 naira, and you'll be spending like 2 million. I think that is not that's not a very brilliant idea for us. It might be for them, for whatever reasons they're making it to be like that, but for us, every one of us, it's not economically conducive for every one of us. So now let's look at the pathway from maybe from Nigeria to Australia, or from the UK if you are here to Australia. And it's almost like the same thing now, since people will still be taking the OBA pathway, except if you have studied anywhere away from your home country in Africa, or maybe you've studied in the UK to do a top-up program for your if you have RM before, whatsoever diploma program you have before back at home. If you've come to any of the developed world to do a top-up program, you may likely end on the pathway where you will be registered directly. That is stream A. We have 3 streams in this one that I want to discuss: the stream A, the stream B, the stream C. The stream A, you are capable of getting registered straight away. Stream B, you will need to take these 2 examinations, which are NCLEX RN and OSCE. NCLEX RN you can take from anywhere around the world, and then you go to Australia to do your OSCE. Okay, so this step is you create your account, like open portal, 6 steps in all. Open your portal, create your account, and choose the pathway that says IQNM, internationally qualified nurses and midwives, and fill in your details from step 1 to 3. When you are filling in your details, then if someone has used your school to do that pathway, to just give you a pop-up. If nobody, they will need to put your school into their system, and that may make you maybe wait for 2 or few days before they will reach back to you. And once you've done that, you will go through the self-assessment pathway. You will need to pay 560 Australian dollars, which will be like maybe like close to 300 pounds or something like that. So you need to make that payment. Then you will now be allocated to stream B, where you will need to take the NCLEX RN. Book your NCLEX RN, and after passing your NCLEX RN, you will then pay for your OSCE. OSCE is 4,000. When you are doing this stream what, and when they've allocated you to NCLEX to take NCLEX RN, you will need to pay 300 USD to get that. Now you will get your ATT if you are going to write that NCLEX in Australia. Get your ATT, get visa, go down there and write. If you are writing it elsewhere, just get your NCLEX done and let them know you have it done, and then pass it to them. So ATT plus whatsoever will be giving you like 360 USD. You've paid 560 Australian dollars. You are paying 360 USD to get the NCLEX RN fixed. When you've passed your NCLEX RN, then you move to the stage where you will need to write OSCE. OSCE is 4,000 Australian dollars. 4,000 Australian dollars. So these tests are being taken in 3 centers in Australia. We have the 2 Adelaide centers, and we have a center in Melbourne that was just added. So in any of these centers, when you want to take the examinations, you will be 20 at a particular stream that will be coming in. So it means 20 here, 20 there, 20 there. That's like 60 persons doing that examination at the same time, and there are 10 stations to be addressed. 8 of these stations, or 7 to 8 of these stations, are like constant K. So if you want to do it, I don't think there's any examination that we cannot pass. We've been writing examinations since God knows when. So there's no examination that we cannot face or pass. It's just the availability of places to write the examinations that could be shocking and financially demanding and financially consuming, time consuming, and inject so many other things that could go down with it. But then if you are very much determined, it's a very doable thing. So you will need to prepare for this NCLEX, and like I said, you'll be writing 10 stations. 8 of these are stations where you have to do some practicals, and you will spend 10 minutes on each of the stations. So 2 minutes for you to read the questions and 8 minutes for you to do your practicals and make your documentation. Any communication you need to do in between, you must be able to do them within that 10 minutes on each of the stations. So please get yourself prepared. The person who had done this, who is a Nigerian, who did the pathway through Nigeria, straight pathway, not even through the UK, said she do encourage that people should practice those 8 stations every day. Once they get letter to come and write OSCE, they will need to join some online training places, and she said she was trained by OSCE International. You can Google that, you can check that out. So if you happen to get your letter to come and write OSCE, just book in with them. You will start your online preparation with them. They will teach you the theoretical aspects of the OSCE, and these guys actually also train people for NCLEX. See me doing free advertisement for OSCE International. Now, I never know before, but then she did it and she passed that one. So why will I not shout their name loud and clear to everyone who will be injecting almost 3 million or 4 million into this process? So if someone had done it and they've been successful, I would be bold enough to say you can go through that pathway, honestly. So you will do, and the remaining 2 stations, they said they are assessment stations. There are about 10 questions in stock for these 2 stations, and you don't know which of those questions will come out. So you have to really familiarize yourself with everything that is happening with those 10 reserved questions, and they do swap those questions. So if they bring in maybe vital signs today, next examination it could be they will bring in gastric intubation, colostomy care, urotomy management, and I don't know what's there, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of what you're possibly going to meet in those remaining 2 stations. But the other 8 stations are like constant care, which I'm sure she will be able to. She's very much ready. She said if anyone needs help and they want to take the OBA pathway, she's happy to talk with them, to talk them through the pathway. She's very much happy to be at your calls and beckons to make things happen. Now, she told me that the visa they will give to people to come and write OSCE is 3 months multiple entrance visa for 3 years. So in that sense, if you are able to get that visa, she advised that you come 2 months prior to your examination day, so that you can have good on-hand experiences in the laboratory with OSCE International. So that is how you're going to get your examinations done. 3 centers, I said, 2 centers in Adelaide, that's Southern Australia, or is it South Australia they call it, and 1 center that was just opened last year in Melbourne. These examinations go batches: January, April, July, September, November, 5 times in a year. Once you're able to get that fixed, if you've passed your examination, the next thing is for you to move to the stage of registration. This is the time they will now request for your English test, either IELTS or OET or Pearson test of English academic. If you are giving in your IELTS or any of these tests must have been written within the last 2 years, and IELTS should be band 7 across modules minimum, and you can combine 2 results within 6 months, but none less than 6.5 in your band score. If it is OET, that's 350 across the modules, and you can combine 2 results within 6 months with none less than 300 score. Now you can actually use Pearson test of English, which is 65 across modules. You can combine 2 results with none less than 58 within 6 months. That is how the English test is. And it is at this final stage that you will need to submit your English test, and you will also need to put in your verification of results. We know many things are going on around verifications now. If people are able to get them done and then await verification, fine, and well, that is that. But when you put in your, at the initial stage, before you get to passing your NCLEX, you will need to bring in your certificates, your transcripts, and all those things, your international passports. You will see all these things there, because I'm going to leave you with the link. But the icing on the cake is that this beautiful Nigerian woman actually said that if people need help, she's very much ready to help you guys navigate the process. And I wish everyone good luck in our quest to make our life and those of our family members better. God bless you. And I will always love you guys. I will always love you. Thank you.